Hi friends, welcome back to another tutorial of iPhone app development. In this tutorial, we are going to discuss mixing UIKit and SpriteKit. What we are going to do is, we are going to add our game project to our UIKit project that we created to our Swift project. If you remember, that was the first tutorial where we created a project and in Cocoa Touch framework, and there we added a PHP curve view controller like this, and we are selecting images and we added images and showed that image on a collection view. Now we are going to add our game project that we created in our previous tutorial to this project. So there is a object moving to and fro with a background image, and I have renamed this button, which was a share button, to a game button. So on clicking this, you can add a game view controller class to this UIKit view control. After this UIKit framework, you are adding a SpriteKit framework in this. So let us start. Let me open the project that we created earlier. Okay. I kept that project inside this folder and the project name was demo button. I will click this .xcode project file and I am going to open this project. Now what I need to do is, first of all, I need to rename this share button to game button. Let me rename to game button, and I need a IB action for this game button. So I will add a IB action for this game button, going to my recent file, view controller file, recent file, view controller dot Swift file. So I am inside this, and now I will just add a IB action to my game button. I will put this method near to my gallery button, tabbed method. So I will just drag and drop this button over here, and this is an action, and I will write game button clicked. Type will be UI button. Event will be touch up inside. Argument will be sender or none. I will take sender and I will connect this. So on clicking this game button, also I need to add one more UI view controller to my main.storyboard. What we are going to do is, on click of this button, we are going to open another scene, another view controller file. So I need the view controller file. So I will go to my object library, I will click UI view controller and put it over here like this. Again, I need a class .swift class for this view controller file. So I will just right click this folder. It is just below my .xcode project folder. So I will add a new file and I will select Cocoa Touch class and I will write game view controller, and this will be in Swift and this the subclass of UI view controller. I will click the next button and I will create this. So my game view controller is created. I will take this game view controller, copy the name of this game view controller file, and I will just go to my view controller I added recently. This is an empty view controller file, and I will go to this icon, I will click this icon which is on the left hand side of the attribute inspector. Here I will write inside a custom class, beside a class I will paste this name like this, and I will click enter. As soon as I click enter, this inherit module from target is selected. So this will now be a class for GameViewController.swift file. So whatever code I write inside this GameViewController file, or whatever UI element I add to this GameViewController inside a storyboard will be called. Now we have created a GameViewController file. What I need to do is, I will first of all add a navigation controller to my storyboard. So now we are going to learn how to add a navigation controller to our storyboard. Select your initial view controller. Here your initial view controller is view controller scene. See, it is in attribute inspector, you can see this is checked, is initial view controller. So this is your initial view controller. Click on this icon. This icon is meant for embedded in. And as soon as you click here, as soon as you click, you get a navigation controller to be embedded in, and a tab bar controller. We will learn tab bar controller in our another tutorial. In this tutorial, we are going to add a navigation controller. So a navigation controller is added over here. You can see, as soon as I added a navigation controller, my view controller which I added here is having a top bar, navigation bar. Select this navigation controller and uncheck this show navigation bar, and this is going to hide your navigation bar. You can show or hide your navigation bar using this. Okay, so I will uncheck this. Now what I need to do is, I want to call a view controller, this view controller, on click of a game button. I have created an IBAction method for that. Also, if you don't want to do it programmatically, you can just drag this button like this, control drag this button like this, and click to a game view controller file like this and add this. So you have a action sequence, non-adaptive action sequence, and these two are deprecated method, and you have a so detail, present modally, present as a popover, custom. So you can use these kind of a tool. You can use a push, and this is going to be called without using the IBAction. For that you need to delete this IBAction click method to do it in a storyboard. I have deleted this IBAction method from here, and now I will just run my app. I will show you to do this programmatically also, but let me show you this using the storyboard. When you run your code, click on the game and you can see the game view controller file has been called. You can add a back button over here, and on the click of the back button you can again move to a previous view controller, or you can check this navigation controller show toolbar. If I check this, you can see what happens. Since this tutorial is for the beginner, I am explaining these things because these things are very basic thing, so you should know this. So on clicking on the navigation bar, you can see a back button is added. by default. So let me uncheck this and delete this segu, you can say. This is called a segu. You can select and delete this segu and add a IB accent of this game button. You can just right click it and use a touch up inside method, or you can just control drag this to a view controller file and you will get a game button. Click, select this and this will be connected and the connection will be seen in your view controller file. So this method will be called. Let me do it programmatically. I will just create a object of my game view controller file using naming it game VC is to, or you can say is equal to storyboard dot instantiate view controller with the identifier, and you have to provide a identifier to your game view controller file. Going to a storyboard, opening the attribute inspector, you need to provide a identifier. Let me name this game identifier as view controller title. This is a view controller title. You need to add a identifier this here in a button which is on the left hand side of the attribute inspector. You can add a identifier. This is named as storyboard ID and you can check this, use storyboard ID and use this, and always remember to click enter after doing all these things. So this will be saved. Go to a view controller file and use this identifier. And you can write as a like this as exclamation mark game view controller file. We are going to discuss all the basic detail of the Swift in our next tutorial. So for now I am doing it like this. I will explain all the basic thing of the Swift language in my next tutorial. So this is a game VC dot push view controller, self dot navigation controller. The navigation controller that I added in my storyboard is called here dot push view controller animated method, and you will write game VC animated will be true or false. You can say false will not animate the view. You can try these things on your own. And now my game view controller file will be called. Let me add a back button to my game view controller file quickly. So I will go to the main.storyboard. I will select the view, go to my object library, drag and drop a button. I will add a constraint to my button. I will add a breadth and a height. I will add a top and a trailing. Let me add the top to be 20 and trailing to be 20 and a breadth to be, let me say 100, and height will be 200 and height will be 100. It is a use button, but okay, you can use an image also, anything else also, but I am using it like this. This is up to you how you beautify your app. So let me write a simple back button. I am creating a custom type, simple custom button, naming back, and I will take a text color as red. I will change the font to be bold, system bold, and I will increase the font size. Click enter and back will be here. And also I need to add a IB accent for this back button. So I will just go to my view controller file like this in a game view controller, and I will select this back button and control drag it to inside a class. I will add an accent. For type I will take UI button and I will write back button clicked. I will connect it. Inside this method I will write self dot navigation controller dot pop view controller animated would be true. This will move my view controller file to the previous view controller file. Let me relaunch my app and you will see the difference. See, I click the game, I click the back and I move to previous view controller file, the initial view controller file. So now what I need to do is add the same code that I used in my previous tutorial, that was first game app in SpriteKit. So for that I will add a new file of game scene. So I will click a Swift file, add a new file, click on a Swift file inside the template and click next button and write game scene. Game scene and click create. My game scene.swift file is created. I will import a SpriteKit here. What I am going to do is I will just copy and paste the code that I used in my previous tutorial. So I will just open my previous tutorial. Let me open my previous tutorial. My first game project, and I will go to game scene. See if I have used another name. No, I have used the same name. What I will do is I will just use Control A, Control C and I will paste it over here. Control A and Control V. Now you see game scene file is created. Inside my view controller.swift, I am going to mix a UIKit and UIKit and SpriteKit. So I will first of all import a SpriteKit here, and next what I will do is inside my games view controller I will add a UI view. Put it inside this default view. Provide a constraint top, bottom, trailing and leading. Trailing, leading I am going to give it a 0, and for the top I will give 20 and the bottom also I will give 20. It will take a top from the back button, so it is okay. Now I will go to the class. Here I will write skView. I am going to create a skView like this, and I will now connect it to my view controller file. Going to the game view controller, and I will just drag and drop this view like this, and I will write small skView object will be created. Inside this viewDidLoad method, I am going to present my skView. First of all, I will create an object of, I don't need to create an object because the object is already created. skView object is already created. What I am going to do is I will just add a game scene inside this skView. So I will write skView dot, first of all you need to create an object for game scene, or you can say a scene is to game scene is equal to game scene, initialize it with a size, and size will be equal to skView dot frame dot size. And now I am going to use a SKView dot present scene this scene. Let me run my app. See, the same thing is applied, the same code is applied but inside a Cocoa Touch framework. So that's all for today. Have a nice day. Don't forget to subscribe my channel, like my channel and comment anything. If you want to see some different or if you want to suggest something, comment it.